So many new reveals coming through, lots and lots, of course, from the domestic automakers, but also we're seeing a bit of that kind of fight back coming through in terms of the foreign automakers. Volkswagen, for example, they're releasing about 6 new models in a for China, in China push as well to try and get back some of the market share that they've lost as well. And, you know, in the conversations that I've been having in the last few days, there's been quite a few key themes that have emerged. Certainly on the one hand, we continue to see this really fierce competition and also price competition as well that's happening domestically and also impacting, of course, the foreign automakers, Tesla, among others as well. But also, of course, a big issue is around scaling, right, and around market expansion. And certainly the 2 key markets that the top executives have told me is really just the US market and the EU market. Now, as it relates to the US market, we've heard quite a few automakers saying it was closed off to us prior to Donald Trump coming into office, and it remains more closed off now. And I just want to give you some example of the numbers here, because we have currently on Chinese EVs looking to import into the US combined tariff of 247.5%. So that's the 145 that's been announced from the Trump administration, the 100% that was announced under the Biden administration, and that standard 2.5%. So if we take the cheapest BYD model, which is the Seagull, the US price there is $7,800. The duties that would need to be paid in order to import a car like that, $19,300. So that is where it stands in terms of the US market. So therefore, what we're hearing from a lot of these EV makers is that it is all about Europe. And we got a chance to sit down exclusively with the CFO of Zeekr, Jing Yuan, and he spoke to us about the situation there. Let's watch.
It does have some negative effects on our sales in the European Union countries, and it is an extra tariff put up on the EVs that we sold over there. But I think we're tackling this question in 2 fronts. On one front, after the acquisition of Lynk & Co, which is mostly a plug-in hybrid maker brand in China, we are actually, planning to sell more plug-in hybrids in Europe, which is not subject to the additional tariffs on EVs. And B, we are adjusting the product we offered, or adjusting the specs we offered in the European Union market, and trying to see, if we can remain competitive in that particular market. And there's always Plan C, right? The Plan C is obviously local manufacturing, and we are very actively discussing with all potential partners within Geely Group, or outside Geely Group, trying to find a way to do local manufacturing as well.
We know that in terms of the EU market, of course, there are tariffs that are imposed on Chinese EV makers as well, and they're different depending on the company and the level of subsidies that these companies receive. But of course, we have heard the news that perhaps there is going to be these negotiations between EU and Beijing in terms of a minimum price that for Zeekr, as Jing Yuan told me, as a premium brand, is welcome news.